Bit of bad blood here. How about this? Peter Maniatis, Robert Jamaica Centre Ring semi-main event. Victorian Cruiserweight Championship scheduled 8 rounds of boxing. Your timekeeper at the bell, Tom Davis. Your judges, Tony Morena, Peter Flaherty, Brian Membry. Here we go. Ultra Tune sponsoring this semi-main event. Introducing first on my left, in the blue corner. Born Sydney, New South Wales, now Morfordville, South Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, in amateur boxing, 40 fights, 20 wins. He was a 4 times South Australian light heavyweight amateur champion. Ranked by Sugar Ray Whitley, World of Boxing number 7 contender in Australia. With Richie and Rod in the corner at 81.75 kilograms. He works as a wood cutter, wearing predominantly black trunks. Would you welcome the Pitbull challenger, Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross. And in the red corner, Andrew Woodall, John Two Guns Walker, and the team, ladies and gentlemen, from Coburg, 29 years young, Team Destruction, 84.70 kilograms. He's ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, they call him the Wild Boy, Steve Gillingham. Malcolm, it's all yours. We didn't resolve that issue, but never mind. Wearing black trunks with a touch of white. A lot of bad blood in this one.
Okay guys, welcome to the centering. Good clean fight, obey my instructions at all time. Shake hands now, come on fighting well. Good luck. Good fight.
And welcome to Malvern Town Hall, June 25, 2010, and it's fight 6 of the 8th annual Bob Rose Cup, promoted by Peter Maniatis. I'm Patrick Skeen, and joining me as co-host tonight is SEN's Troy Zantuck.
Tremendous, and well, Steve the Wild Boy Gillingham against Aaron Ross in the blue corner.
And Gillingham's with the long black socks, and he's got some white writing on his shorts. And Aaron Ross from Morfordville in Adelaide, from the Southside Boxing Club. And Gillingham representing Team Destruction at Tarneit, and he's from Reservoir and Coburg. And the Wild Boy is all hustle. He's moving forward. And Aaron Ross, they've both had reasonably similar professional careers. One's 3-2, and that's Aaron Ross, and one's 4-3, that's Steve Gillingham. 36 rounds, Steve Gillingham's boxed, 27 Aaron Ross, so nothing in experience. And we're looking forward to both guys really putting out tonight. Steve Gillingham's a brawler, and he's got a good straight right. And Aaron Ross is looking to land his deadly body shots, Xantho.
And this is a Victorian State Cruiserweight title at stake here, so it's an 8-rounder.
90.7 kilos is the cruiserweight limit, and neither boxer getting the ascendancy early. Still a bit of a feeling out period. The Wild Boy looking to bull Aaron Ross to the ropes. And Ross having the answers so far, and no one really scoring anything of significance.
Aaron Ross with the mohawk, and Steve Gillingham with the bald head in the Wild Boy trunks. You can't miss him.
And Wild Boy landed a good jab then. He's looking to establish that. He's had 7 pro fights now, so he's improving as a fighter. Loves it in close.
Loves it in close, yeah. He's an in-close fighter, the Wild Boy.
Aaron Ross lands a sneaky right over the top. Nothing really significant. Nice uppercut by the Wild Boy. Likes it in there, happy to camp right there on the inside. And referee Malcolm Baldner letting them go. There's no clinching. Looking to land some uppercuts and do some quality inside work.
Yeah, nice left hand there, throwing at the left hand jab there, the Wild Boy.
Wild Boy's jab has improved as his professional career has developed. No major power shots landed in the round so far.
No ascendancy gained by either boxer. As you said at the start of this, just a feeling out process. A lot of clinching, a lot of holding at the moment. A lot of in-close work done.
Ross landed a roundhouse left hook there, but nothing of significance landed as the Wild Boy moves forward. Could be 1 or 2 big power shots here that lands the first round of a Victorian State Cruiserweight title. Wild Boy looking to maul, likes it there on the inside, and he really does fancy himself. And Aaron Ross doesn't look too shy on the inside, Troy.
As he pushes Ross into the ropes there.
Nothing dirty going on, which is good. They've set a good tone. Wild Boy came into the ring Gave Aaron Ross some stink eye.
Round one.
And some good respect between the boxes. Round one. How do you have
See
it,
Marvel
Joe?
Man fight Benny.
Yeah, look, I might have Gillingham just in front.
I think he landed some good left jabs and they were significant enough.
Scoring punches for Gillingham.
Fight 6 of the Bob Rose Cup, and it's round 2. Victorian State Cruiserweight title is on the line at 90.7 kilograms. Steve Gillingham in the long black socks and the black trunks versus Aaron Ross from South Australia in the black trunks and white shoes. And for both of us, Troy, we agree it was the Wild Boy shaded the first round, but we're not the judges. You seem to us to be the effective aggressor and land the more significant punches.
Notice Ross in the early stages of this round going to the body.
That's the shot. When we spoke to him yesterday, he said that was his money shot. He's looking to land those body shots. But Wild Boy's putting together some combinations here with some good uppercuts and some straight rights. Doesn't look like Aaron Ross is in any trouble, but he's certainly let him know he means business here in round 2 to build off the momentum that the Wild Boy Steve Gillingham established in round 1.
It's a contrasting fight, isn't it? At stages, it's at range, and for most of the fight, it's in close, it's in the clinches.
Yeah, you get the feeling this is going to be a war of attrition. No great power demonstrated yet. Wild Boy hasn't shown that single knockout punch, but he put together some great combinations.
He's looking for that right hand uppercut to do the damage to the Wild Boy.
This could come down to conditioning of both fighters. Team Destruction out of Tarneed, they've delivered the Wild Boy in good shape. Interesting to see Aaron Ross, he looks in good shape.
Favourite boxer Danny Green, Aaron Ross, and interesting to see that Steve Gillingham rates that he doesn't have a favourite boxer.
Well, the fight bet odds, Steve Gillingham, the Wild Boy in the black trunks and the black socks at $1.90, and Aaron Ross, the favourite at $1.70. And I think the odds makers at fightbet.com.au have had a good look at Aaron Ross's 40-4 amateur record, that he's just put in more ring time than the Wild Boy in the amateurs. 27 rounds, Ross's box, 36 the Wild Boy's box as the Wild Boy moves forward. So no real great experience differential, and really difficult to separate these two right now. Ross is staying in there. The Wild Boy getting the better of things and really making the play. Ross looking to counter, and they're both displaying good jabs tonight, Troy.
Yeah, they are. They're boxing at range at the moment, which for boxing fans is great aesthetically. And now they get into the clinches on the ropes.
And Ross is showing some pretty good lateral movement.
Yeah, dancing on the feet there, Ross. So no jelly legs at this stage. Nice right hand uppercut there by the Wild Boy.
Well, the Wild Boy's a fitness fanatic. He does 25k bike rides at 5 a.m, so he's delivered himself in tip-top shape, and he may need it. He's ranked 4 in Victoria, and Aaron Ross doesn't have a Victorian rating yet. Gillingham's a plasterer, and Aaron Ross is a woodcutter, so there could be some latent power in the woodcutter, Troy.
Well, let's hope he keeps chipping away. He's
and Rob Davis in the corner of Aaron Ross.
Nice right hand there by the Wild Boy. Yeah, that round there, Patrick, actually going to go for the Wild Boy.
I think the Wild Boy
more and clear and concise punch.
And it's round 3 of fight 6 of the Bob Rose Cup. And it's Steve Gillingham from Reservoir and Team Tarneed versus Aaron Ross from Malvern, the South Australian. And for both our commentators tonight, we have 2 rounds to 0 for the Wild Boy. But Aaron Ross has certainly been no slouch, and looking to get his combinations together and show his experience over 40-odd amateur fights and his 5 pro fights so far.
He come out with the more positive approach, Aaron Ross.
Does have some good lateral movement. And it's a battle of the Wild Colonial Boys. Ross has got the Southern Cross tattooed on his side, and Wild Boy's got the Southern Cross on the back of his trunks.
Yes, it's a Southern Cross fest.
But from what we saw earlier when Wild Boy came in the ring, we thought this might break out into hostilities, but it's been very gentlemanly so far, both showing off their wares. A little bit of blood now appearing on the Wild Boy. And I've seen the Wild Boy cut before, and he doesn't panic. He understands that that's a part of the fight game. It could be something for Aaron Ross to work with, and could be something that gives him impetus to get back into this fight. He's two down on the scorecards right now for mine. It's not a life and death struggle, and this is 8 rounds.
As both boxers have to pace themselves.
And they don't have great experience with 8 rounds, both these boxers. But Wild Boy fancies himself with his inside game, and so does Ross fancy himself. But Wildboy getting the better of the inside exchanges, but Ross...
I like Ross as he's coming out of those exchanges. A nice right-hand uppercut there by Ross, found the mark. And as you said, claret coming from the nose of the Wildboy, so there's a target there for Ross if he can hone in on that.
I don't think that'll bother the Wildboy. It's not above the eyes, it can't affect the fight. And he's just going to keep coming forward. He's fit, he's in great condition. The Wildboy loves to fight. And he always brings it. He's a fan favourite here at Malvern Town Hall. He's had some great fights. Had a loss last out against Hunter Sam early this year, but it was a very good performance and he was very gracious. Trying to get his jab going. And Ross landing some rights, but not a great deal of power on them, and certainly not enough to keep the Wildboy off. The Wildboy staying busy, loves it in the trenches, loves to get his hands dirty.
The Victorian State Cruiserweight title up for grabs here. Steve Gillingham, the Wildboy, 29 years of age, and Aaron Ross, 20 years of age.
Neither fighter really has the ability to stop this fight with one punch. And
now it's a war of attrition, Patrick.
Yeah, Aaron Ross has got one KO and Wildboy hasn't stopped anybody. I agree with Detroit. It will be a war of attrition. It's going to be who's the fittest man.
That's the bell, round 3.
How do you have that one?
Yeah, actually, Ross.
Ross?
Yeah.
Come on, get behind Aaron Ross. The Wildboy Steve Gillingham. Halfway through this match. Victorian Cruiserweight Championship up for grabs.
Round 4, fight 6. The Victorian State Cruiserweight title is on the line. It's the Bob Rose Cup, and it's standing room only here at Malvern Town Hall as Aaron Ross starts round 4 more aggressively, looking to try and establish the ascendancy. Momentum so far going with the Wildboy, and Aaron Ross certainly did peg him back there in round 3, Troy.
Yes, he did. I thought he took the points in round 3, and Ross has come out with bad intentions in the first round, but the
Wildboy's creating the opportunities.
Yeah.
He just hasn't managed to land that power punch. And Ross seems to be adapting, just poking out that jab. Well schooled, had a lot of amateur fights, a lot of amateur experience and building his professional career. Must be hard fighting out of South Australia. There's not a great deal of sparring over there.
No, and what we're finding here, it's a real patience game at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's,
the Wildboy's nose is starting to bleed again, but not a concern. He doesn't panic if he sees blood. He just loves to fight as he relentlessly moves forward, probing, searching for some sort of chink in Aaron Ross's armour. And Aaron Ross has been quite composed. He may not be getting the lion's share of the action at the moment, but he knows, stay in the fight. He's experienced, and who knows what can happen in the later rounds. We're only halfway through this fight. The Wildboy moves forward, trying to plant that left foot and land his big straight right, which is his money shot. And I'm very impressed with the Wildboy's jab.
Yes,
Keep poking it out there.
It has been potent tonight. It's been an effective tool, and it's a scoring punch.
Nice straight right from the Wildboy there. Loves to come in and try and manhandle his opponent as he bullies him on the ropes, and that's where he feels he can do his best work. It'll be interesting to see if the judges agree. He's got pretty good punch output.
He has got a very good punch output. There's no doubt about that, Patrick. Concentrating on the bread basket there with the Wildboy, going downstairs now again into the rib cage of Aaron Ross.
And Aaron Ross hold his own in close with this close mauling style of the brawling styles. The Wildboy Gillingham.
Big right hand there by Gillingham. But Ross comes back with a few of his own.
It's the best action in the fight so far, midway through round 4. And Gillingham looking to bully, fancy himself in the corner, landing some good shots. Malcolm Bullner in there tight, watching progress. But Ross is not panicking. And the Wildboy just can't land that significant brace of punches that can open up Aaron Ross. And I thought Aaron Ross handled that pretty well.
He did, yeah. He took some
came back
decent punishment.
Some great shots of his own. This has developed into a good little infight.
What a top round there, come on.
Excellent round, best round 4. And who would you give that to, Troy?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go again with Aaron Ross.
Seconds out, round 5. Schedule 8, Victorian Cruiserweight Championship.
It's
Sean
round
Priestley from Altitude will make the presentation. Here we go.
round 5, fight 6 of the Bob Rose Cup. It's Cruiserweight. The Victorian state title is on the line. And we've had a difference of opinion. I thought that was the Wild Boy Gillingham's best round, but Troy, you thought round 4 went to Aaron Ross?
Yeah, but Gillingham, gee, he's fought a terrific bout. He's fought it on his terms.
Well, that's great. We disagree.
Yep.
That means the sparks are
But he
flying.
hit him with
We've
a
got
massive right there, the Wild Boy. Let's rock Ross. Oh, he's in trouble.
And that's the punch Wild Boy's been trying to
Wow.
land all fight, but Ross is composed again. He's on the ropes, but he took a massive shot there from the Wild Boy, and that power is starting to get through. Who is going to impose their style on the other?
Oh,
And
was
the
a
Wild Boy is committed.
Straight right hand by the Wild Boy. Tremendous punch.
Aaron Ross for the first time showing the effects of the Wild Boy's power.
Gee,
And
that
we're at a pivotal stage of the fight.
that had plenty of Tabasco in it, that right hand by the Wild Boy. Oh,
Very impressed. Those peppery long-range combos of the Wild Boy finally testing the heart of Aaron Ross, and he came up. He came strong. He went to the ropes. He showed some experience, and now it looks like he's tightening up his defence out of respect for the Wild Boy. And Ross isn't coming forward as much as he was. As Wild Boy lands another straight right, and Ross tries to counter him over the top unsuccessfully. And Ross is really going to have to start landing some of those punches to keep the Wild Boy off and to keep the equilibrium in this fight.
well, the momentum, wow, it's well and truly shifted. The Wild Boy is coming home like a steam train.
And Ross has shown he's strong enough that he can handle the in-close fighting, but it's Wild Boy from distance at the moment. There's been some long-range shots with more power on them that won the first part of this round for the Wild Boy. Some decisive strong punching. The Wild Boy bites down on the mouth guard. He's come to win. They exchange left hooks there, and that was an interesting exchange. It looks like Wild Boy got the better of that. You can't be sure with Ross.
Gillingham, as you said, he's bitten down on the mouth guard. He's actually taunting Ross.
Wild Boy showing some confidence, but he shouldn't get too cocky because Aaron Ross is still alive. One, and this is an 8-round fight.
Oh,
Wild Boy lands another good left hook. Big, strong punches now, really picking off these power shots and loving it on the inside. Camped his head on Ross's shoulder. He's really trying to bully him now, take his strength away, impose himself on Aaron Ross and take advantage of this momentum. And that's the body shots Aaron Ross told us to look out for, and he's landed them. They seem to have negligible impact, but they can build up over time.
nice left hand there by Ross. Right hand there again by the Wild Boy, Steve Gillingham.
Even though the Wild Boy's getting the better of this round, Ross is doing enough to hold him off as Wild Boy doing his best work in the corner. Lands another straight right and left and putting together his combinations now as the crowd warms to this fight. Another good round of boxing, and the Wild Boy finishes strong against Aaron Ross.
Steve Gillingham, that ground clearly.
Back on Gillingham, and I'm on Gillingham.
Round 6.
Round 6 of the Victorian State Cruiserweight title. It's the Bob Rose Cup, fight 6.
Round 6.
8 rounds of boxing, and it's the Wild Boy Steve Gillingham versus the Pitbull Aaron Ross. And the Wild Boy comes out hard. He's got the better of the and more meaningful exchanges in the last 2 rounds at least, Troy.
Yeah, I'd have to tend to agree with you there, Patrick. The confidence levels of the Wild Boy have risen dramatically.
Aaron Ross has shown enough in the last round that he can compete with the Wild Boy here, but the Wild Boy strung together some 3 or 4 punch combinations, which would be worrying to the corner of Rob Davis from the Southside Boxing Club in Morford Vale, and they've come to win tonight, and their boys in it.
And on the flip side of that, Dave Hegarty would be absolutely over the moon with his charge, the way that the Wild Boy's gone about his business tonight.
And it looks like his Wild Boy's sticking to the game plan. He's getting inside and then pulling Aaron Ross to the ropes and negating. I'd say Aaron Ross does have superior technical skills.
Yes, he has.
But
yeah.
he doesn't have the power to keep the Wild Boy off. So he's got his game plan. The Wild Boy's got his. And you say up to this stage of the fight, the Wild Boy is imposing his plan more successfully.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. The fight sparks flew in the last 2 rounds.
They did,
It
yeah.
really opened up. And it's looking like now, like Aaron Ross is paying a bit more respect to the power of the Wild Boy. He's not coming in now, he's not making the play, and he's looking to land that left counter punch. And I'd love to see more of Aaron Ross's body punching. Because when it lands, it's the most significant set of punches that he's thrown this fight so far have been to the body.
Well, I think that they provide a great foundation stone for Ross, and as you said, Patrick, I really think he needs to hone in on the body, and just test out the rib cage of Steve Gillingham.
What Ross has to do is keep his punch upward up. Just keep.
Oh, big right hand there by Gillingham. That found the mark and it rocked Ross. He's rocking on those ropes.
But Ross showing great chin again, taking 3 or 4 shots. Wild Boy steps back to get a bit more power on those punches, landing 3 and 4. More shoulder punches, arm punches, but they're effective, and they'll be scoring in the judges' cards as Ross comes back, still fancies himself on the inside. And Ross not playing to his own strengths right now, dancing, getting on the outside, making the Wild Boy chasing. That's what he should be looking to do.
Big right hand there.
Great body shot. That's what you like to see, Ross. Coming back, try and bang away at the ribs. If you go to the body, the head will follow. And he's got his own plan, Ross. He just should be executing that more often. It's a risky punch as well with Wild Boy's right coming over the top. Wild Boy showing a big improvement in his boxing skills as he develops as a professional. I'm loving his left jab, and I'm loving his just the fervour. He just moves forward like a Sherman tank.
Yeah, the overhand right's been impressive too by Gillingham. He's really found the mark tonight.
His defence is good. He took some shots early on the nose, but he really hasn't taken any significant shots since then. The guard's up. Love what Gillingham is doing. I've given that to him again for effective aggression. I've got a shutout to Gillingham so far. You've got a couple of rounds to Ross.
Steve Gillingham, clearly that round.
But it's a wildly entertaining fight.
Let's push for the Wild Boy, Steve Gillingham and Aaron Pitbull Ross. Semi-main event.
And it's round 7 of the Victorian State Cruiserweight title at 90.7 kilos. And the combatants tonight, Aaron Ross, the Pitbull, versus the Wild Boy, Steve Gillingham. And what a great entertaining fight it's turned out to be. A clash of styles. Ross moving, counter-punching, trying to stay away, and the Wild Boy trying to take it on the inside. And we've been entertained with this one, Troy.
We certainly have, Patrick, and the right hand of Gillingham has been the potent weapon tonight.
It's been the difference.
It has been.
And the Wild Boy in the long black socks and the black trunks with the Southern Cross on the back, the Wild Boy on the front, and Aaron Ross in the white shoes, and he's still in it. And he can still land a punch. He's shown a little bit of power, Ross, but not enough to keep off the Wild Boy, who is relentless.
You'd have to be happy the Wild Boy's corner, the way he's gone about it tonight. He's actually paced himself. Hasn't gone out too quickly in the early rounds. And look, he's coming on strong in these latter rounds. It's very... Oh, hang on.
And the Wild Boy's lost his mouth guard. Malcolm Bullner won't intervene yet until this exchange finishes.
Yeah, the mouth guard is on the canvas. Malcolm Bullner picking the mouth guard up.
Well, Aaron Ross landed a significant enough shot to knock out the Wild Boy's mouth guard. Both fighters getting a well-earned rest.
A well-earned rest. And there's a little bit of trickling claret from the Wild Boy's nose.
As there has been since the early rounds, but I don't think that'll bother the Wild Boy. And you won't see too many referee stoppages off a bloody nose. And another great body shot from Troy Ross. And that's what Aaron Ross, that's what we're looking for. Go to the body, execute your game plan. A good uppercut there on Gillingham. And Ross has come out full of bad intentions in this round as the Wild Boy comes out. Spit flying from the Wild Boy. He likes it in there, tough, and lands a good right. Trying to put Aaron Ross back to where he's had him for a substantial chunk of the fight. On the back foot, going backwards. But Ross came out, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to gamble. He's got to try and surprise the Wild Boy. And it's been honours even so far in the 7th round. And Ross should make his move now. He wants to take this fight. If there's any conditioning issues with the Wild Boy, now's the time to establish it. But the Wild Boy comes forward with a big straight right. And he's here for this Victorian title. Neither of these guys have a title. He wants that belt.
He's loading up that right hand, the Wild Boy. It's looking as though it's going to be the money punch of the fight. But Ross goes downstairs again.
Downstairs and upstairs with the uppercut. There's not enough power to keep the Wild Boy off. But they've fought it a pretty frenetic fight for 90.7 kilogram. There's some big men in there.
Fatigue starting to set in with both boxers.
This will be interesting. This could be the opportunity Ross has been waiting for. He does have the edge in fitness. Try and take advantage, but Wild Boy not exhibiting any serious signs of fatigue. Blood running from the nose. Still some good defensive work. Wild Boy's moving more. It's the best I've seen of the Wild Boy since I've been watching him. He's moving forward, relentless. Ross has been picking him off, but this is where the Wild Boy likes it. In the corner, trying to land that signature right hand.
Don't hang in there, don't hang in there.
That's round 7.
Well, that's an interesting round. That's the first round I'm actually going to give to Ross. I thought he did enough there and stuck to his game plan. It's a great
presentation of the championship belt. Seconds out, 8th and final round.
And it's the final round of the Chiefs supporting bout of the Bob Rose Cup. It's at Cruiserweight, 90.7 kilos, the Victorian State Cruiserweight title on the line. Steve Wildboy Gillingham has done enough in my books. Just has to win this round, but we're not the judges. But Aaron Ross had his best round in the last round in the fight for me, so maybe he's coming on strong. The Wildboy, they both want this title, and they're both going at it. Been a remarkable punch output from these two big men. They haven't let up the intensity, Troy.
Absolutely, and he's zeroing in on the solar plexus again, Ross. He's loving those body punches, but really anything less than a knockout, and you feel that Gillingham, it's his...
Gillingham's fought a smart fight. He's banked a lot of rounds by our estimation, and Ross is going to have to gamble and really try and do something and try and wobble the Wildboy and see if there's a flaw or a chink in the armour that might be exposed late. Both of them showing strong chin tonight.
Yes, both boys.
None of them have been, neither have been stopped, and the brawling style of the Wildboy seems to win out. But Ross then puts together a 3 or 4 punch combination then, and this fight is certainly not over. But they're not KO artists, and the war of attrition we predicted has come to fruition.
Yes, it certainly has.
Impressed with the Wildboy, showing great improvement. Ross is still in there. He fancies himself, firing up the jab. He's a good-looking boxer, Ross, and if he can develop power, he could really bother them at Cruiserweight. He's got all the skills and he's got great chin, and they're good attributes to move forward in professional boxing.
For the last 90 minutes of this bout, and you feel Ross, he needs the knockout. Gillingham needs to stay on his feet. He's fought a tremendous fight, Steve Gillingham.
And Ross now has just got to throw a few wild shots, keep it interesting, try and land a few good ones, try and get the Wildboy's attention as the Wildboy sits behind the jab. And what a thorough job he's done tonight. He's showing great defence. And moving forward, these two warriors, they're not giving an inch for this Victorian State Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, fatigue starting to set in now, Patrick. Both boys holding, clinching.
And at some stage it was going to. They've been going at a very intense pace. They keep going. And Wildboy looks at this stage like he's working his way, but Ross is not letting it have his own way, and the Wildboy moves forward and shows some power. A second wind kicks in. All that cycling at 5 a.m. is bearing fruit now, Troy.
Yes.
And Aaron Ross, he's not giving it. He lands another right in a combination of his own. And this has been very entertaining from our vantage point. A lot of the infightings that happen right in front of the commentary position, and the Wildboy loves it in there. And Ross hasn't shied away from the inside fighting, but he hasn't been able to take advantage of his superior jab and reach, and the Wildboy has really imposed himself here on a very game Aaron Ross.
Well, he has. The Wildboy, it's the smartest fight I think he's ever fought. He's really, he's just,
and they're still going at it.
Ross is coming.
And Ross
coming with a
Like
flurry.
he buckled the Wildboy then.
That's
not enough.
Well done, Tom. Let's hear for Steve Gillingham and Aaron Pitbull Ross.
Fantastic
Sean
performance.
And I think the Wildboy will be the new Victorian State.
Okay, Tom, give it a big bang, thank you. More people in the ring than actually in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Brian Nimbrey has it 80-72. Peter Flaherty and Tony Moreno both had it 77-75. Would you congratulate the new Victorian Cruiserweight champion, red corner, the Wildboy, Steve Gillingham. Sean Priestley to make the presentation. And that 3 cheers for the Wildboy.